Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie review. Today we are starting a new franchise in the horror movie genre, and it's one of the franchises that took a long wait until they released a sequel, but this is also one of the less popular franchises besides like the original film. And the movie I'm going to be reviewing today is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho from 1960. This film was really a nostalgic type of thing. It was honestly one of the first slashers or like the very first slasher film, I believe, in the US anyway. Did not have a rating for a long time until like the 80s or 90s, I'm pretty sure. But this is the 60th anniversary edition. It was released in 2020. Anthony Perkins stars as Norman Bates, and Janet Leigh stars as Marion Crane, or something along the line of that. So anyways, Psycho, what is this movie about? Psycho follows a woman named Marion Crane who has a lover named Sam Loomis. And, you know, they're making love in a hotel and all that, or a apartment building, whatever it is. And she has to go, she's talking about their future together and how they're going to live the future. And she is just, you know, debating on what she can do. Sam has to leave to go to work, so she gets in the car. She has to drive to the bank, and she has to deposit, I think, 40 grand of money into the bank for some reason, or she has to like transfer it to somewhere. I can't remember the exact reason, but anyway, she gets there, and at the last second, she takes the money and decides not to go to the bank. She just wants to get out of town, and she steals the money, gets out of town, wants to do her own thing, so her and Sam can like live a happy life. And you know, they have a detective who is trying to find her, and she's on her own right now. The detective Sam and the detective and Sam are actually looking for her right now. But while she's you know, having her escape plan and she's driving off, a huge storm comes up and there's rain pouring down, and she has to pull over and just find somewhere to rest for the night. And of course, where she pulls over is Bates Motel, and she sees that it has vacancy. So she goes in and she meets Norman Bates, who runs the motel. Norman Bates is like a outcasted type of character. He runs the motel, has to take care of his mother. And she gets there, she gets a room. Norman Bates is acting all friendly, and he gives her room number 1. She goes in there, you know, has a good time. Then Norman asks if she wants to join him for dinner. Then some other stuff happens. Then, of course, after that, the infamous shower scene appears, and some murder mysteries happen. Psycho was a movie, honestly, I think it was the first black and white horror movie I've seen besides Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead and this movie are like the only 2 black and white movies I've seen. I just never really been a fan of like the 60s, 50s style type of horror movies. I don't know. They just never appealed to me. I guess I like the 80s, 90s, and 2000s and 70s. I don't know if it's because they were filmed in black and white or if the acting is bad. But this is definitely one of maybe the only movie besides Night of the Living Dead that I actually enjoy that was released in the 60s. And Alfred Hitchcock did an amazing job directing. Anthony Perkins does a great job as Norman Bates. Just the way Norman Bates' character is, like he's outcasted, he's mentally ill, you know. He can go from nice to terrifying in a moment. You know, it's I do like the way Anthony Perkins takes this role seriously. Then, of course, Janet Leigh stars as Marion Crane. She does a great job in this, and Marion Crane is honestly was a pretty nice character for half of the film. I really did enjoy that sort of plot. There's like two different plots throughout the film, if you don't know. Then, of course, Vera Miles stars as Marion Crane's sister, Lila, I believe, Lila Crane. Vera Miles stars as Lila Crane. Not as interesting as Marion, but at the same time, it's still pretty watchable. The kills in this movie, there's only like 2 or 3. It's not a high body count. There's not really that much blood or gore. The only blood you really see is from the infamous shower scene. Of course, this movie spawned that. One of the first ever, horror movie type of things. It actually made women stop wanting to go into the shower because, of the whole scene with the stabbing. I'm sure everybody's known this scene. So I'm pretty sure I'm not spoiling anything. I'm sure everybody's heard of it. This movie was honestly pretty good for an early slasher, maybe the first slasher film. Of course, this is based off a novel that somebody wrote in like the early 1900s, early mid 1900s. Alfred Hitchcock based it off of that. And Alfred Hitchcock directed tons of movies, as you know. I think he directed The Birds, this movie, and then a few others. I haven't seen The Birds, but I did hear that was a good one. The ending to this movie is one of the most iconic endings in horror history. I will tell you, the negatives at the ending where they're trying to explain everything, it takes about 5 minutes. I can understand for the time that they needed explanation, but now it just gets kind of stale and you have to sit there and listen to that explanation. Of course, there are drawbacks to this being an early, 60s type of movie. However, it is still pretty enjoyable, I'd say. This is one of the greats, of course, and classic of all time. But that has been my review on Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this an 8.5. Not the greatest slasher ever, but still an iconic one. It spawned an infamous scene that everybody remembers to this day. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on Psycho. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Would love to hear them. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next review. I will see you in Psycho 2. God bless and have a good day. Bye, everyone.